This is the Boom Podcast. The podcast that shows you how to build an amazing business so you can build an amazing life. The Boom Podcast starts now.
Martial arts training to start the next episode of season 4, which is good.
Have you seen the chess boxing thing?
Chess
boxing?
Oh, chess, no.
So these guys, they're professional boxers, but also chess players.
Oh.
And what they do is they do 3 minutes of boxing.
Yes.
And then they sit down, they bring in a table to the middle.
No,
and
this is not real.
Then they play chess for 3 minutes.
This is real?
Okay.
And then if they don't have a winner, they get up. And so first one to either win from the boxing standpoint or get a checkmate is the winner.
Where are
You know, he's not a
watching
good
this?
boxer, but he's a killer chess master. He just needs to survive
hang
these
on.
first 3 rounds. Get to the chess round. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Where are you watching this?
You know,
What,
Meg,
the
Yo,
old show?
Where does
are
he
we
come
at?
up with this stuff?
I've got my ways. I've
I'm
got my
so
things.
scared.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the person who's like, we'll do cross-country skiing, and then they'll stop and they'll shoot rifles at targets,
Oh, yes.
and then they'll ski a while longer. Like it'll be an Olympic sport, chess boxing.
It might be on its way.
Well, how fun! I would highly prefer the chess portion of the chess boxing, personally.
Yeah.
Not looking for the boxing.
I don't know how to play
I
chess.
thought you said
so I'm
chest
gonna have to-
boxing.
No,
Chess
chess.
boxing.
Yeah, I was like, you just kind of knocked chess.
You bump chess a lot.
Can't use arms.
Yeah, that would be interesting too. Would you? I feel like okay. I'm going to make a prediction right now.
Okay,
Yes.
I can't
Todd
wait.
Ferris wants to box. Todd Ferris has never
Yeah,
boxed.
that's true. Yeah.
But he has a lot of interest in just training as a boxer and maybe having a fight or two.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do want to try it. But I did have one boxing bout to my name, my career. There was my best friend growing up, Derek, Honest Chuck. Shout out to Derek. He and I growing up. I remember going to his cabin one time. I don't know if it was his cabin or whatever, but I remember his dad was like, "Hey guys, let's get out the boxing gloves."
Yes.
And so he put the boxing gloves on us, and I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And so then I was just like, I didn't want to do it. I was a passive person. I was a pacifist as a kid.
Nice.
And then Derek got a couple licks in, and I was like,
You got
"All
mad."
right." Then I got mad,
Yep.
and so then I pummeled him.
The Quaker
Did you
just drained
pummel
right
him?
out of you.
I don't know if I would
No
say
pacifism there.
Yeah.
I know. I remember.
listening.
And Derek is probably listening.
Big fan of the show.
I'm pretty sure that it might not have been a pummeling, but I'm pretty sure I was like one of these walk-offs. That's why I didn't want to
Okay.
do it, and then I walked away because I had
okay.
kinda proven that I got
Yep.
this. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
I mean, that feels good. That's nice.
yeah.
That's cool. Okay, let's move on. I feel like let's just go around the table and think about how you would do in a fight. I'll go first. I would lose a fight.
I'll go first.
I have a glass jaw. I think I'd go down fast. I think I'd be in real trouble early on. And I would be winded real fast, too, I think, because that is some cardio.
It is, yeah.
I've heard. I don't know. I don't get in
What
fights.
kind of fight are you like? Or is this like a sanctioned boxing
I'll
fight?
say
Or is
either
it
or.
MMA, or is it like street fight? Somebody's called your mama fat, and you are game on.
Is it different? Is your answer different?
I don't know.
Mine is the same. I would lose all like a sanctioned or an unsanctioned fight.
Okay. I would much rather go street fight. I feel like I want to. I don't need to pull hair, but I want to like fish hook and
okay.
I mean, I've got like certain defenses, and most of them wouldn't be like okay in a boxing
Right.
match.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and I also think if you were in a street fight, I feel like there has to be motivation for it. Like somebody's made you angry. And I feel like I could use that on the inside
yeah.
to get
Just,
through all the rainbows and then crush somebody.
I was just imagining you now. In my mind, I'm like, I kind of want you to get into a fight.
Oh.
Because I feel like you're just gonna circle, and all you're doing is looking for the opportunity to fish hook.
It is my favorite move. It's that and the like sweep knockover move, like those, and the typewriter. Those are all.
And the typewriter.
Oh, and that one where
The
you
typewriter's
spit
a
and
good
suck
one.
it back up.
You do that one too?
That was one of the things when
do
Todd
fight dirty.
Todd and I wrestled like when we first started dating.
Yeah.
But,
Wait,
but I have
what?
brothers.
Yes.
Wait.
No, that's fine. That's
But
normal.
All right.
I have brothers, and they weren't nice. My older brother, his goal was to toughen me up.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say, you're fighting like a big brother is basically.
Yeah, right,
exactly.
yeah.
Right.
There's fish hooks and typewriters
Yes.
and loogies.
And loogies,
Yes.
yeah, okay. And you want to do that to a stranger?
I think I have a
on
hard
the
time
street.
thinking about punching somebody in the face and hurting, like inflicting pain and feeling that. I don't know.
I'm more concerned about getting hurt by a punch. That's more concerning to me. Christian,
I kind of have your perspective on it, except I used to box when I was a kid.
did you really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because we loved
Okay.
Muhammad Ali and all that. And my friend and I would stage, Matt, like we would set up rings and my brother
Nice.
would officiate. And so I've been punched before, and I think I could box, but I don't think I'd be very good.
Okay.
Well, you're definitely a step ahead of me, no doubt. Then,
But I was younger.
do you have a quick boxing tip that you could share?
Yeah.
Just a kind of a
quick
general
tip?
advice. Yeah, do it, maybe like a tech
Hot
tip.
tip.
We'll make it a boxing tip.
Oh, good.
I don't have any boxing tips.
Well, think about that by the end of the episode.
Okay.
We
You
need
want
you
a
to
boxing
chime
tip?
in. Yes, and listen, hold on.
Yeah.
I want you to drop a boxing tip at some point of the episode. I don't want you to say when it's going to happen. I just want you to fire the
Just-
tech tip sounder
Okay.
Nice.
whenever you're
And
ready.
then say boxing tip over it.
Does everybody have
Yes.
their
Yes.
yes. Does everybody have their headphones on?
Yes.
I don't
Okay,
know who
good.
wouldn't.
So we'll
That'd
all
be
know
embarrassing.
when it's going to happen. All right, Todd, and how do you think you would do in a fight?
I think I'd
Sanctioned
be all
or
right, but
un-
I think it's the same thing. Like, I would have a hard time throwing a legitimate punch because I would be worried that I'd hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Here's
well,
a
I think
question.
that's the point, though.
If you got hurt,
such a
or if you
Todd
got
thing to
hit, yeah,
Afraid I would hospitalize someone. So
he does.
afraid
a
I
really
can't
good
box.
hand. If you got hit, would you? This is kind of like the fight or flight because I feel like you would react to a punch one way or the other. You would either be like, "Whoa, dude, I'm out. I don't like that," or it would make you angry.
It makes you mad.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you dig in and get crazy.
That was kind of with me what I found.
Yeah.
Is I
If
thought
you
I
get
would
hit.
hate it, but instead I was like, wait
what?
a second.
Yeah. I get it.
Okay.
I get it. I think I would get hit. I'd be like, I just got hit, and then in that time, I would have gotten hit 3 more times. I'd be down on the
I
ground.
just got.
I can't believe it. And then I'm really done. No, honestly, in a fight, I just would be afraid to break my hand again.
Again.
Just kidding. I'm throwing so many punches. I keep breaking my hand from all my fights, and I just can't break my hand again, guys. I can't do
Keep
it.
those keys in there.
No, I don't know. Yeah, keys. Yeah, that's a good move. All right. Well, we've built a good
good.
foundation
Good.
there. Let's talk about building a virtual friendly foundation. That's where we are. So this is kind of where it starts, right? It's like
And it's got friendly right there in the title.
And it's
Nothing
got-
about
It is,
boxing.
yeah. It's
true.
Nothing about beating other people
No,
up.
this
But
is
friendly.
true.
We're all friends here.
right.
We're all friends.
I can't wait for the chess round of the fight. But
That's
that's what
right.
I'll be. I'll be on the street getting pummeled up. Be like, when's the chess round start?
Hang in there, Terry.
I know,
the clock,
I know.
Terry.
All right, Todd, set the stage for us here, buddy. What are we talking about here?
So basically, we are talking about, as we've already kind of hinted,
Yeah.
and by hint, I mean just blatantly told you guys, we're talking
That's
about
right.
doing this thing virtually. How do you do it? And we're going to be breaking it all down throughout the season. But the first thing is the foundation. Like, this is the cornerstones, the keystone, the keystone light. This is how you build the foundation of your virtual business. And we want to make it friendly for you. But we're going to go through these tips for you and just kind of knock them out and dive a little deeper into each one.
Yes, I'm actually really excited about this because being virtual, there are some different things that you might need to know to set up your business to be really good at it and to make it a smooth transition. So that's what we're going to do.
Good. Let's kick it
Guys
off
ready?
then. Let's
Okay.
go. I'm excited.
All right. The first thing we are going to talk about to build your foundation in this virtual business is your base,
Right.
meaning like your office and where you're working from. So let's start with your office. It doesn't matter where you have it. It can be
Oh.
at your home. It can be, like Todd mentioned in an earlier episode, you can have a office space,
Yeah.
but be working virtually.
Yeah.
This is how it works for you. So like for us, we have a home office, but you need that office to be clean. It needs to be your happy place, somewhere you want to go.
yeah.
It needs to be, and when I say clean, I don't mean like no dust bunnies.
Right.
I mean like organized.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
so is make sure it is a clean, great place for you to go in and work that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
It's your happy place, not cluttered, and then more importantly, that it's quiet and uninterrupted. That you
Yeah.
can go in, you can close a door or get away, and it's your space to be.
That's super important. And obviously, we're like realtors, so we're out showing houses. Do you ever, people I think, don't think about that. Like, you'll go into a cinder block basement with a single light
Right.
bulb. They're like, I'll make this my office. I'm like,
Yeah. Nobody's going to want
be
to
the
go in
most
there. You don't want to go in
miserable
there.
person.
Yeah.
It's awful. Like, you're going to be depressed all the time. But like, that's
Yep.
something to think about. Like, you want to have a comfortable, bright energetic kind of like happy space. You know,
Otherwise,
I
you
like
just
that.
won't go there.
Otherwise, you won't.
You
Yeah.
will not go there. And we'll talk about this in a second too. Like this space needs to be a space you want to work. You want to go there. You want to work. You're enjoying it. You're happy and you're productive if you're happy. And it all is this domino effect of being productive and good at your job. But the other thing, which we noted in here for your base, it doesn't have to be a physical office. So we definitely challenge you if you're like, why not have space in my house? Maybe you live in a studio apartment or you have 16 kids and you can't have this room that's your office. Don't let that stop you. Just have a like anywhere bag, office in a bag. Go wherever you want. Literally, I think both of you guys have this, and I know with my little bag that I take, it has everything I need to work. I got my computer, my charger, my phone, my notepad, all of the things I need. I can put in a bag and go.
And so much of what you need, you can also supplement through your phone, through apps.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. So just would challenge you, yes, if you can have a spot that is yours, a nook, a corner, an office, a bag that you take places, just have a base that has everything you need and you can take it with you and think outside the box. Don't get stuck in the traditional, it has to be this 4 walls office type of space, but make it a good space. Make it the things you need and you love.
It's time for it. It's a boxing tip.
That's right. That's right. We know you tune in to the podcast for these kinds of
happy.
boxing and fighting tips, and so we want to reward that
Yep.
right now. Producer Christian.
My
it's a
tip is-
boxing tip.
Duck.
Oh.
Now, let me tell you why I say that.
Oh.
I know it seems like a letdown,
It
but a lot of
does.
times you're bobbing and you're weaving, you're thinking left. You can avoid a lot of punches by ducking.
You know what?
Especially if a guy's roundhousing you,
Oh,
which
yeah.
happens in a street fight.
Yeah, a lot of people
So-
will throw a big old hook.
Yeah,
Coming
and it's
around.
easy to forget to duck.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
the dumbest thing, right? But you're doing this, you're trying all these different moves. You got your arms up and all. Just
Nice.
Duck.
that's my
Nice.
technique.
Not good for the audio podcast, but he
It's
ducked a
time
lot of
for it.
times.
That's right.
Close it off, Christian. Good job.
It's a boxing tip.
That's right.
I remember Mike Tyson.
I just allowed one per show.
Just one boxing tip per show.
I'm getting a yes from Terry over
Let's
there.
try out. What do we think of the boxing tip? I think that's
I
good.
think every episode. That's
Every
really
episode
good.
should have a
Oh, yeah.
For
boxing
sure.
tip.
For sure.
Good times.
That's good.
I miss Mike Tyson's knockout or punch out or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
that's
that was
a good game, man.
Good stuff.
Good times.
You gotta learn
All
to
right.
duck in that thing.
You do, for sure. All right, so we got the base. Todd.
Yeah,
What
let's
else?
talk about the tools. So you got
Yes.
the base, you're in this happy place, you're quiet, you're uninterrupted, you are ready to go. But what are you going to have to work on? So this is going to be things like your computer, okay? A computer and a phone. Let's get right to those two things.
Yeah.
Your computer and your phone are the two most important things
Yep.
that you have in your in technology pieces that you have that affect your daily life, your business. So you have to make sure that you invest properly in those things and understand, like, yeah, they can be expensive. But again, what do you use more than anything? Your phone. All right. And what's probably second behind that? Your computer. And then behind that would be a car, right? So though you got to make sure
Yeah.
that you are investing in those things and that they are on point, because otherwise you're going to be dredging through the waters. I think that's the word.
Trudging.
Trudging.
What's dredging?
That's when you
Dredging
pick
is
stuff
when you
up at the
clear it
bottom.
out,
Oh,
yeah.
you clean it out. Yeah.
You
dredge the river.
Dredge.
That's
For
what
the-
it's going
for
to
the
feel
dead
like.
bodies.
That's what it's going to feel like. You're dredging. You're just like there's dead bodies everywhere.
All right.
Okay.
So make sure, as Megan was talking about your office in a bag, that would be something like, obviously you got your computer in there, but what other tools do you need? And just think, like Terry and I mentioned, I think in episode 1, we talked about trying a transaction from start to finish from your phone. And that will be a very good eye opener into these are the apps that I need. If I'm going to scan a document, I need to make sure I have this proper scanning app, things like that. All right. And then don't forget also like web-based systems, services, making sure that you are investing in those. That's probably one of the biggest things that you will hear from us as we explore the virtuosity of being
Yes.
virtual.
Well said.
Thank you. You want to make sure that there are some really handy systems, really handy web-based platforms and apps that you can be using. And we'll give you those as we go throughout the season. But you want to use those because people have developed them and you might have to spend a little money, but that little money that you spend is going to come back in a lifestyle change that you're going to love.
Oh, yeah. And just that time you just net back to you. And it's not, you can also have paper copies of stuff. We're not saying that there aren't going to be clients that say,
Right.
I want to have this paper copy. So you can, part of your office in a bag or your tools is going to be maybe a couple copies of everything you need in your little place. And then if you need to, but try to use your web-based virtual systems and tools first.
We had
we
had an agent, and I think, Megan, you knew about this, but I didn't realize this was a thing, that had a portable scanner in like her bag.
Yeah.
And I was
wow.
like,
Yeah.
what?
I think they
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I think they might have even, I don't know if it was the same agent or somebody else, but they had like a printer that they kept in their car.
Yes.
So that they could like go to their back of their car and they could print stuff out and scan it right there.
But
Did they have good paper, though?
Well, that's the key.
See?
That's the question.
Yeah, you got to have that.
Thank you.
We are advocating you buy a really nice printer that plugs into the cigarette lighter of your car
Yeah.
and print out the trunk. It'll work.
Put it out the trunk.
My printer's in the trunk, no problem.
Come on out.
Come on.
Come on out. Scanning apps are amazing.
Yeah. Well, did you know the iPhone Notes app? You can scan using the Notes app
What?
on your iPhone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did
Yes.
not know that.
That sounded like a
I've
tech
always
tip to
used-
me.
I know. I always use Scanner Pro.
No. We switched over to
no,
boxing
okay,
tips
all right.
now. We switched over to boxing. There are no more
He
tech
was like,
tips.
I'm going to hit it.
They're all boxing
What? I
tips
did
now.
not know that.
Yeah. Okay. Hot tip. I'll take that.
Fabulous.
I'll take that. Yep. It's pretty nice. It's pretty slick that your phone has that.
Nice. And I love notes. So that's
There you go.
fabulous. Nice.
All right, then.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on, if you guys are ready, to your help. Okay.
Ooh.
This is a big one. This will definitely help you build a good foundation. Now, there's a few different help options that we're talking about. One are the systems, which you've kind of mentioned already. All of the systems that you need in place to just run smoothly and virtually. You need this in any business. Have good systems. This is important. We have about 19 episodes that you can look back on about all the systems you use, but we are going to talk about virtual systems in the future. Little teaser. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Second, automation. Automation is killer with your time. It's just going behind the scenes. You've got your CRM sending these newsletters and these drip campaigns and all these things that are online, just rocking your business for you because you've taken the time to put them in place, and they're amazing. And the third, and can I just say, these systems and automation are basically like hiring an assistant.
Right.
It takes a lot off of your plate when you have these. But the third one is, under the help, is having staff or a partner or an employee or a assistant, somebody, a showing assistant, somebody you're working with to help you in the areas of your business that you need help with. And again, they can be a virtual assistant. You know, our EA works virtually, you know, not in our office, maybe comes by and picks up all she needs, but then she can go work from wherever
Right.
she is as well, because she has the same setup we have, and we can Zoom and FaceTime and, you know, Slack, all of these things. We've just figured out these systems
Right.
and the schedule that we are on, which is super important.
You got to think too, like we're speaking to different virtual people. So there could be like the virtual person that still wants an office, but they want to be able to work virtually, perfectly fine. But like that one is the person that wants to go work in, you know, like get an RV and just travel the country.
Yeah.
And they want somebody that they need that partner, they need that staff person that's still local to go put a sign in
Yes.
the yard.
Right.
Because you can do
Yep.
everything else from your computer and
That's
your
a
phone.
good point. Really good point. Love
Just had a
it.
vision for like just taking off in an RV for a while and
I wanna
having
do
boots
it.
on the
I
ground
wanna
and
do
just
it.
open ended but still running your business. Like there's no
Let's
reason
go.
you can't.
Let's do it.
This is
Boom.
good, guys. Like, oh, it's so
We
good.
need a boom RV. We're going to need a listener to rent us their RV.
Yeah.
All right.
Say
We will
donate.
wrap it with
Donate?
the boom. We'll pay
Oh,
for
we'll
that.
put a little-
We'll
Yeah.
we'll put the wrap on.
Oh yeah, it'll pay for itself.
I don't
if
know.
we got a boom
I don't
wrap
know if
on
the
it.
listener is going to be excited about that.
No, they'll be very excited about that to wrap it with boom. We'll split all the profits from the boom wrap with you, the owner of the RV. Okay, so
We'll figure it out.
we've covered your base, establishing your base, that space in the world that you're using, whether it's a bag or whatever. We've talked about tools. We've talked about help.
Talking
And
about
now-
boxing.
We've talked about boxing. It is time now to get to Todd's fun. I
Oh.
wish I was a. What is it? I'm glad I'm not
I'm
a.
glad
Was
I'm
a
not
little
a-
bit
yeah.
small.
Well, let's go ahead and fire that
It goes something
sounder.
like this.
Get on the train for Todd City segment.
Wow. That sounder is your best work
Powerful.
ever. The attention to detail
Yeah.
that you put, and in a style that I never expected. And now I'm going to talk right into Todd's segment so that you can't cut this part out. Todd, start talking about your segment. Todd, start
Let's
talking.
go right now. We're going to be talking about Aren't You Glad You're Not a Teacher?
Oh.
This is another blast
But
from
you
my
were a
past.
teacher,
I
yeah.
was a teacher.
Yeah.
And again, we're not saying teachers of the
No.
world, you're doing a terrible job and
It's-
you shouldn't keep teaching because we need you.
Yes.
You got to stay in there, right? We need you to teach. We are proud of you. We
Yes.
think you are doing just wonderful work, just work that I was not cut out to do.
But
But tough gig sometimes.
But there are some horror stories that come from the teaching world, and I went ahead and I Googled some crazy stories. There's a ton of them.
excuse me, we use Bing on the show.
I'm sorry, I binged a bunch. Oh, there it is.
Oh, I love that jam. That one's a good one too.
Also
Good
one
one.
of your greatest works.
Have we mentioned? I don't know. We'll talk about it in a second. Go ahead.
So I found this fun story. Now, when I was looking, there was some crazy stories, and I've got my own crazy stories from my teaching days. But this one was an interesting one, and so I thought, let's share this bad boy.
I
So
like it.
here we got a teacher shared this story. In a case that would rank amongst the most immature parenting decisions of all time, a woman... Oh, so this was, I think, a news story. In a case that would rank among the most immature parenting decisions of all time, a woman from New Portland, Maine?
M.E.
Me is
That's
Maine.
Maine,
yeah.
Is it Maine? Struggled with that one.
Missouri.
She conspired with her daughter and her daughter's friend to bake a batch of cookies stuffed with laxatives in a scheme to prank her daughter's teacher. They crushed up the X-Lax pills and stirred it into the mix and then left the cookies on the teacher's desk with a note saying, "We made these cookies especially for you. Hope you enjoy them." Wow. That's when it all backfired. Being a generous, thoughtful person, the teacher shared the cookies with the
the
entire
class.
class.
They use the word backfired.
No.
Yeah.
Christian.
Okay, sorry.
Christian, don't fire holes in. Unintentionally making anyone who ate the cookies incredibly sick.
Wow. Funny.
What's really disturbing, though, is that if you think about it, that single cookie that contained enough laxatives to make someone sick, their intention was for the plate of cookies to be eaten by that teacher, which could have been really serious.
Oh, man.
The mom responsible for the prank was sentenced to 50 hours of community service.
Wow.
Think about that.
Oh,
Man.
So teachers be getting
Gotta
it.
watch out,
I don't
man.
even know. I was
Watch your back.
Yeah, teaching, man. You guys, it is a tough job, and it takes a special person. And I'm so glad that
That's why you
person's
quit.
It takes a special person who is not me to really do that.
I put my 5 years in, and it was.
Of course, you'd recently retired from Outback Steakhouse, so you had all that money.
Right? No, I what was between? Oh, I fertilized lawns one summer.
Oh, really?
That was my tweener job between Outback and
What?
that job, teaching. Yep.
Well, there
That
you go.
job.
Yeah.
Teaching.
So I was trying to think what that job
Meteoric
was.
What was that
rise.
job? Okay.
Yeah, trying to think of a good
That's
fun
crazy.
teacher story for you because I've had.
Well, I bet you broke up some fights.
I broke up
Oh.
several fights.
How old were your kids?
My favorite fight, two favorite fights, and I
Well,
thought
how,
we
old,
could
how
share
old were the
these.
kids?
I was
school.
in high school.
Oh,
I was in
okay.
high school.
I thought you were like elementary school.
Yeah, and for some reason, my first 2 years, and this is me being like a 23-year-old teaching, and so like these kids, there was a couple kids that were like 3 years younger.
Right.
Like this is your last chance, kid. If you don't graduate this year, you're out. Right. So, but I must have been right where the halls collide because there was always fights right outside my classroom, and I don't know if they put me there on purpose, but two of my favorite fights. One is I came out and I saw some girl swinging on two guys, and so I broke it up. Then realized the girl was a mom, and those boys were bullying her son, and so she came
my
to exact
gosh.
revenge on that, which
Wow.
was pretty incredible.
Just fought him herself.
Just fought him herself. And then my favorite, though, which I may have shared on this on the podcast before, Mr. Swinford, who was my mentor teacher. He, at the time, was like 65 years old. He probably weighed 140 pounds, was like 5'5", just a small little guy, but awesome. So much energy. Teachers, all the students loved him. Kids, I hear the rustle and the tussle of everybody, I'll fight. So I run out and I'm swimming through the kids to get to the middle of it to break it up. And all I find is Mr. Swinford bear hugging the two boys that were fighting on the ground, laying on top of them. And I go, "Swin, you okay?" And he goes, "As long as I'm holding them, they can't punch each other."
What a guy. What a
They
guy.
were swinging it. He just went in and just
He
grabbed
just
them
hugged.
both,
He smashed
burned
them
down.
into each other. That's a smart move.
Yeah, it was good.
It's like
That's
when
a
your
really
mom makes
smart
you hug
move.
until you quit fighting with your
Yes,
sibling. You
yeah.
just must stay right
Wow.
here.
Yep.
65. What a champ.
He was
man.
awesome. He was a good dude.
That's pretty good. Shouts out to him.
Shout out to Swinford.
Right here on the podcast now. He's
There it
real
is.
famous. Wow, okay.
So teachers, we appreciate all you're doing.
Yes.
We salute you.
Share your stories
do.
with us. So if you're a teacher too, by the way, they say that teachers make great realtors. If you're a teacher, send us your stories at info@boomrealestatepodcast. We'd love to hear them.
That's it. Okay, so let's move on. We've covered your base, your tools, your help. Todd, your time. Let's talk about your time. Let's do it.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I almost dropped my water. All right, let's talk about time. So one of the things that you're going to learn when you're working on your own, like when you go to an office, sometimes you feel you're more accountable to your manager who's watching over you or something like that. But if you're working virtually on your own, at home, whatever the case is, you're going to find that you can choose to not use your time wisely. So we're telling you, don't do that. Choose to use your time wisely. So one of the things we would push is to make sure that you have an airtight daily schedule. So you actually write it out, and then it starts with the day, and then you transition to a weekly schedule, then you transition to quarterly and annually. And what you're doing is you're basically saying, when you have a clean mind, you're thinking forward, and you're saying, if I was going to have the most productive day, if I was going to have the most productive week, quarter, month, whatever, this is what it would look like. And then from there, you then just carry it out.
Yes.
Right? And if you mix that with a business plan, by the way,
Ooh.
you will set the world on fire.
Yep.
Right?
Execute. It's good.
Yes. And so just take that time, and then we would typically do this once a year. We would sit down and break down our annual plan, and then we'd break it down quarterly after that, and then break it down even further. But we would challenge you guys to do the same. Make sure that you just figure out your schedule, make it airtight, and do your best to stick to it. And we have other podcasts that talk about that as well.
Yeah.
So feel free to just kind of search our website for those.
Yep.
And then lastly would be making sure that you have boundaries and expectations for your time. If you are going to work from home and you've got other family and kids working there or living there, or in the corona times, they're just there at all times. Make sure that you're setting boundaries and let them know, like, hey, during these hours, I have to work. Now, after this, I can come work and play with you. But during these times, you have to respect my boundaries, but I promise to shut it down and come play with you after that. So if you set those expectations, you have those boundaries, people should and will respect them, and you'll still be able to function like a normal adult.
Yeah. It's the time question, the time challenge, whether you're virtual or not. It's
Yes.
always the challenge, but we think that productivity can soar when you're virtual and
Yep.
you don't have the office distractions. Okay. All right, one more, Megan, and this is a good one.
Yes.
You love talking about this
Makes me
stuff.
happy.
You love it. Let's
Yes.
go.
Time is really important, but then the last one is your attitude and staying in that positive mind space that keeps you going through anything else that you're dealing with. So a couple little tips to have a good foundation too. And just like Todd said with the time, we have lots of podcasts, if you search back through, that talk about time management, daily, your morning routine, all that stuff. But same with the attitude. We've got tons on keeping this tight and staying on top of it. But meditation, taking time for yourself to meditate, to pray, to do what you need to do to get your mind straight is really important. Making sure that you're taking care of yourself and self-care. And one of those things being working out, being physical, even if it's just standing up and walking around, but making sure you're doing all of those things, taking care of yourself. And then surrounding yourselves with others that are like-minded or they are where you want to be are really important. You are not going to be in an office all the time in this scenario, right? You're virtual. Dare we say that is a better thing for you with your attitude, because there are a lot of negative Nellies that are in that office and they're hanging out. We all know who they are. They're like the guy at Cheers. What's Cliff that's like always sitting at the bar, and Norm,
right.
And they might be wonderful people, but they're probably not doing tons in their business because they're not out at appointments, and they might be a little negative.
Right.
And you need to be away from those people. So this is better for you, but you do then have to find your people when you're virtual, and who are you connecting with and how are you connecting, whether it's social media or having mastermind sessions, and finding the way to surround yourself with the people that are going where you want to go in your business and that are positive and breathing that into you. Do not put up with people that are negative about your business.
We would assume that most brokerages at this point have given up on training because of our podcast, and they just play these podcasts.
What's the point, right?
So I'm assuming you're probably sitting in an office right now because of Corona. It can't be high numbers. You're spaced out. But there's about 25 agents in there right now listening to the podcast.
Of course.
If we can all just on the count of 3 point at the agent that is
good
the
idea.
negative
Good
Nelly.
idea.
Yeah, let's do
Let's
that.
just call him or her out on the count of
Ready.
3. Oh, we're going to do
ready.
it too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we're doing it here
I'm
too?
All right,
doing
we're
it.
going to do it here
I'm
too.
doing it.
Okay, the negative Nelly.
Wait,
Ready?
hold on. Wait, can I go to the group shot here?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be.
Okay. All right. So again, if at your
Okay,
offices
all right.
where you're listening to this, we're going to count to 3, and then you're just going to point at the negative person of the group. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Everybody pointed at Todd.
Terry did not. Terry did not.
He's
He
a
abstained.
objector.
I think you guys are all positive
Conscience.
people.
Oh,
You're positive people. You are.
That was the right answer.
It's true.
Terry got the A.
no, I think we all know who the right.
Are you think
answer
you're a
was.
negative person?
No, but out of us 4, yes.
I don't think so. I don't think of you as a negative person at all. Even in the 4 of us, I don't.
Realist. That's a pest or pragmatic. I don't know what the
Yeah,
difference
that's
between those two are.
negative people say that a lot.
Yeah.
that's
I'm
true.
not negative. I'm just
Rationalizing.
realistic. I'm a realist. Like, okay.
Anyway, yes.
sorry.
So surround yourself with people that are not Todd. And no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We love you, Todd. And then garbage in, garbage out. We talked about that. When you're in this virtual world and you're in the office, again, you might not be, or not in the office, you might not be going to these live trainings all the time. So fill your head, at least during your workday, with like wonderful podcasts. I mean, obviously,
Good
you're
idea.
already doing that.
Good idea.
Brilliant. Audiobooks, or actual real books. But while you're working, audiobooks, good music, all of the things that are good. Don't just sit and watch like smut on Netflix all day long while you're working. So just
is our podcast garbage in, garbage out, or is it good content?
it is
good
it is
content.
good
Good
content
content.
in,
Good solid content.
good
Okay.
content out. Yeah,
Recycle.
definitely qualifies for that.
Needed some reassurance there. Thank you.
And lastly, for your attitude, have a good morning routine. Terry has mastered this in his life, and it has to do with time too. But a good morning routine that is solid and gets you started on the right foot and takes your business seriously. When you're virtual, you could just be in your PJs all day, or you could some of the time, or you could just kind of be maxing and relaxing. You need to get up, start your day, have a good morning routine, start you off positive and right.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I do take a long time to get myself ready, like emotionally and physically, like
Yeah.
the whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. And if I don't, then I'm off. Like, it's when you establish that's how it goes. Okay, so that's great stuff, guys. That's the foundation. Those are the pieces of the foundation: your base, your tools, your help, your time, your attitude, and duck.
Make
Right.
sure to
Don't
duck.
forget, make sure you duck. All right, email us info@boomrealestatepodcast.com, especially if you're a teacher. We want to know those horror stories. It's so good. And actually, Christian, because we didn't use it in this episode, and I committed to use it every episode, let's cut the music, the regular outro music.
yeah.
Cut it,
Okay.
and let's wrap it up with another Reverent Season 4.
Season 4, it's the Boom Podcast, Season 4.
See you next time.